Hi everyone, Myra here. I just came on for a quick project share. I've been working on some Christmas items. I figured I better bypass Halloween projects this year, and since I'm so far behind because of everything that's happened, I thought I'd dive right into Christmas. So I saw this little gingerbread guy on Pinterest. They used it as a package decoration. And I thought it was so cute. I wanted to make some. And I think they made theirs out of the corrugated cardboard. But I wanted to cut mine out on my silhouette. So I cut the gingerbread guy. I believe this is Stampin' Up! Paper from Creamy Caramel, I believe it is. And I just cut my little gingerbread guys out on the Creamy Caramel with my silhouette. And then I used my... oh my goodness, I just went blank. Crimper to give it that corrugated look. And then I took my white ink pad and rubbed over the top to highlight all the ribs. And then I glued 2 buttons onto each one. And I started out cutting these little red strips. It's kind of like the way they had theirs. They had little red strips and then they had the wiggly lines. And that got a little tedious because I made 24 of them, and then that got kind of old real quick, getting those little strips and gluing them on. So I went from that to just using, I have a paint that has a tip on it that's a writer paint. You know, you're supposed to be able to write with it. And I used this white just to, put some jiggle lines on it. And I did that on all of them, even on the red ones. And the eyes are, they're actually fabric paint, but they're black. And then the red, the little pinkish red mouth is not Stickles, but the other one, the pearl stuff in the same kind of bottle. And then I used the pipe cleaner. I used a tan colored, or a beigey tan colored pipe cleaner and a red one, and twisted them together and then bent it into the candy cane shape. I used some sheer ribbon and made a bow, stuck that on. Then I used some twine, just a little string of twine, and all I did was just wrapped it around 3 fingers like that. It was about a 12-inch piece or so. Wrapped it around my fingers, took it off, and just twisted it into like a crazy 8 shape, and just glued that down. I didn't tie it or anything, I just glued it down. And then I made these little tiny rosettes. I used 1/2-inch strips of paper and made these little tiny rosettes. And then I just had a star punch that I glued in the center. So there's how those turned out. Oh, and I took my Tim Holtz vintage photo and went around the edges to shade it. But let's see if I can get it in the frame here. That's what they turned out looking like. I thought they were so cute. They'd make really cute ornaments, or like the Pinterest inspiration. They used them as package decorations, or you could just bag up a few of them and give them as gifts. But that's what the back looks like. It's just plain. And like I said, I made 24 of them, so I'm glad that's out of the way, because after about 10 of them, it gets kind of boring, doing the same thing. So I did a few, did laundry, did a few, did dishes, that kind of thing. So also, I'd like to say that my husband's back in the hospital. He went in the other night. We took him to the emergency room because he was having trouble breathing. He couldn't even make it from the bathroom to his chair without having to stop in between and catch his breath. And so we took him in, and they did all kinds of tests, and he had to stay overnight and did more tests, and they found that he had quite a bit of fluid around his heart and lungs. So they were giving him the diuretics to get rid of the fluid. They did a bunch more tests, and They did EKGs and all that. And his EKG that they took showed different than his last EKG, so they were concerned that he might have blockage. And we knew prior to him getting sick with the pneumonia that he had, he had 3 heart attacks prior to that. And then he had the 2 cardiac arrests while he was sick. And we knew he had blockage prior to all this, so we knew his heart was next in needing attention, so this doesn't come as a surprise. But in the morning he's supposed to have surgery to have the heart cath. That's where they go through the leg, artery in the leg, with a tube, go up into the heart and look at all the arteries to see how clogged or blocked they are, and see how well the heart is functioning and pumping and all that stuff. And he's supposed to do that in the morning, and then they'll go from there to see what needs to be done, as to what's still blocked. See, he had 3 arteries blocked prior, and one of them was completely blocked, and one had rerouted its own self around the blockage. But so we know there's going to be blockage, but hopefully this time, see, nothing was done last time because it was all through the VA, and the VA doesn't care. I'm just putting that out there. The VA just doesn't care. They really don't. That's one of the reasons why he ended up in the hospital with pneumonia and, on death's door, basically, because of VA not doing what they should. But anyway, I won't get off on that kick. I would like to ask that you would keep him in your prayers as he goes through, this surgery in the morning and whatever else they need to do to help fix him. Just keep him in your prayers if you would. I would really appreciate it. And hopefully soon he'll be back on the road to recovery and a better health, and he can finally get on with his life and be able to enjoy things. And thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for your prayers and good thoughts. Hopefully I'll be back soon with some more projects. Thanks everybody. Now for now.